Welcome to fourth grade language for lesson 132, and we are going to be taking a look at page 257. Also, you do have a quiz, so go ahead and pause the video to take quiz 19 if your parents have that ready for you. All right, we'll get started with our lesson today. And we're going to start by reviewing the being verbs. All right, so we're going to say these, the state of being and the helping verbs, and we are going to we say them down the columns, okay? Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, would, may, might, must, can, could. Let's say it again. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, would, may, might, must, can, could. Very good. All right. And those verbs are words that we should have memorized because they are the most commonly used verbs in our language. There's the state of being that something is or I am. And then you've got your helping verbs that go along with action verbs that really just help in the sentence, make it more clear. And so these are very important to have memorized and to be able to identify. Okay, so today is page 203, and if you'll take a look at your book at Think D, we're putting a check mark or a check in the blank if before any sentence which has a compound subject or a compound verb, and circle all adverbs. So yesterday, or last lesson, we were talking about we reviewed capitalization and punctuation in our sentences. We looked at diagramming sentences, and we've been looking at adverbs and adjectives and how they fit into our sentences. And most of our adverbs end in what? Yes, it would be ly. Most adverbs end in ly. And so you have words like tenderly, eagerly, bravely, and those words will describe an adverb, an adjective, or a noun. Or I'm sorry, an adverb, an adjective, or a verb. And so you want to make sure that you can find those words, but not all adverbs end in ly. We have words like today, tomorrow, soon, later. Those are adverbs, but they do not end in ly. They are ones that would answer the question when or how. And so taking a look at this, how do we know, at Think D, how do we know if a sentence has a compound verb or a compound subject? Okay, so it would be two words that are joined together by a word, a conjunction that would be and, but, or, nor, for, or yet. And so when you're looking for these, you want, it's not for a compound sentence that you're looking for, but compound subjects or compound verbs. So let's do number one together. Did Seth and Chloe agree with you? Okay, there is an and, you see that in the sentence. What is the and combining? Seth and Chloe, right? Are those the subject or the verb in our sentence? They're the subject. So it is a compound subject, so we would put a check next to the number one. Are there any adverbs in this sentence? Did Seth and Chloe agree with you? There are not any adverbs. Did agree is our verb, and with you is a prepositional phrase. So there aren't any adverbs to circle. So number one, just put the check mark, and there's nothing to do with this There's nothing more that you have to do with the sentence. All right, so you're going to finish that section on your own. Think E. It says on notebook paper, diagram the subjects and verbs in Think D. So these 5 sentences from Think D, you're going to diagram the subjects and verbs from those sentences. So you don't need to worry about diagramming adverbs or adjectives or even prepositional phrases, just the subjects and verbs. And so that very first one that we went over, did Seth and Chloe agree with you? We already identified Seth and Chloe as our subject, correct? Yes, and so we're going to make our rocket, and I'm going to go ahead and draw this on the board for you. We're going to make a rocket, 2 lines, make our nose cone, dot it down the middle, and we're going to put Seth and Chloe. All right, so Seth and Chloe, and we have 2 words that are part of our verb. And what are those words? I said them before, so if you don't remember, it's okay, but it's did agree. Sorry about that, dropped my marker. Did agree, okay? And that's your subject and your verb, and that's all we have to do is diagram it just like that. So you may copy that onto your paper for your Think E exercise. Think F, we're going to write an appropriate pronoun to take the place of the underlined word. The first one is done for you. Sophia ran home quickly. So we're putting in, for the underlined word Sophia, we're putting in a pronoun. So you can get out your, you can look back for your pronoun list. I, you, he, she, it, we, they, and you, or you could sing the song that goes to Jesus Loves Me. But this one says that she would replace Sophia. She ran home quickly. Now notice that Sophia is the subject of this sentence, so we wouldn't say her ran home quickly. We wouldn't use the objective case her. We would use she from the subjective case, okay? So make sure that you're putting it in the right spot. We'll do number 2 together since that the first one was already done. I'll go ahead and do number 2 with you guys. A little dog barked fiercely at the postman. Okay, the postman is what we're going to replace. So what word would we put in? What pronoun would we put in for the postman? A little dog barked fiercely at him. You would put him. That would be the best choice for this pronoun, okay? So you are going to complete Think F on your own, and then Think G. Circle each adverb, and then in the blank, write the word or words that the adverb modifies. Notice it says word or words, so that means that if it's a verb and there's more than one verb in your verb phrase, you need to put all the words from the verb phrase, okay? So, number 1, we'll do it again together. He stepped carefully on the creaky wooden floors. All right, what is our adverb in this sentence? It would be carefully. If you said carefully, you would be correct. Carefully tells how. And what is the verb that is that carefully is describing? How carefully he stepped. Stepped is your verb. And so you're going to write stepped in the blank. You do not have to underline subjects and verbs once and twice if you don't want to. It's not required. If it helps you, you may go ahead and underline subjects and verbs as well as circling your adverbs. Just make sure that you write your verb in the blank and that you circle the adverb that you find in the sentence. And there is only one adverb per sentence. but there are a couple of sentences that have a verb phrase that would have some of our helping verbs that we went over. So refer back to this list for some helping verbs, and you may complete the rest of Think G. So you're going to be doing Think D, Think E, Think F, and Think G. Let's take a look quickly at page 257. It is an extra review section that we will be doing, but they have some that so what I'm going to have you do with Think C is go ahead and identify. You don't have to mark the sentence, just identify your subject and verb in each sentence and tell your parents what the subject and verb is in each sentence. And once you've completed that, then you are done with language for today. All right, and we'll see you next time.